Yeah.
Sorry, go.
And we got it. We got the cold intro for this episode.
God damn it.
And welcome to another episode of BetaBeard. I'm Dean. With me, as always, is Bibo and George. And today we're going to go full tilt into the geeky stuff because, you know, people have been asking for it. And it's about geek stuff, our podcast. So what I'm going to do is that later on, we've been talking about this and we've been talking about episode ideas, right? And we've been thinking we should talk a little bit about some of our unpopular opinions. But before we get to that, I figure, unlike many people who do that, we should first talk about the things that maybe a lot of people might agree with or sympathize with. And that's, you know, what is our actual favorites? What are the movies, the TV shows, you know,
I hate everything, Dean. I hate everything.
Yeah, so and one of the things that, you know, was really cool about that recently is that George, I don't know if we want to get into this yet, as recently one of his favorites has changed into something new, something that's just come out. So what I was thinking we would do is that we're going to go through each of our favorites and we're going to leave it up to the audience. We're going to see how many people agree with who's favorite. And some of us might have the same favorites, but then it'll be a toss-up or a tie or maybe just an outright default winner. But in each category, we'll see who, you know, how many people agree with us.
I feel like we're about to start a game show or something. This is exciting.
I know. It's a lot calmer this like episode of I don't know. It's probably my voice, but yeah, it's a more...
I was going to say, actually, I'm very excited for our third episode, BetaBeard ASMR edition, featuring Dean Daniel Rosen. His soothing baritone. Can't wait.
Let's see. Maybe I'll get into a rant later again.
I have to say, though, every time I've watched the, you know, I mean, trying to just look, you're always watching what you do and how you can improve and stuff. And every time Dean's segments come on and his voice comes on, I'm just like, you know, have you had that sigh moment that
you just keep getting darlings, George?
That's nice to listen to. Like, especially in the first episode, he had that, like, he described what his college course was. And he was like, in design, and I was just like, wow.
Do you know what's funny?
Tell me more.
Ever until I met you guys, until I came here to the Philippines and started, you know, hanging out with the theater crowd, I hated my voice. And I never considered like voice acting or anything like that to be a career for me or anything like that. People told me that my voice was annoying or like nasally or like...
Who are these jerks? You know, and where can I find them so I can punch them in the ear?
Let's just go straight into the least favorites opinions, because those guys are my least favorites.
Already. Just thumbs down.
I haven't even met them, but point a finger and they're my least favorites now.
Because, I don't know, it's if we should go on this tangent, but I don't know, it's kind of something that just popped up organically, so I figure, why not? Yeah, I've had a very strange relationship with my voice. Like, my voice broke when I was 9. It wasn't this deep when I was 9, but that would have been really scary. But it was very scarily deep. It was so deep. I remember that I was at a sleepover at a friend's house, and in the morning when he woke up, I was like, "You right, Tobe?" And then he was like, he thought death had come for him, you know. But anyway. Today we're talking about favorites, and I don't want to hog the mic anymore. I want to go straight into something that we were talking about the other day, George, because your favorite animated show has been recently supplanted.
It has been.
You want to go on?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with that. Let's start here and then go into our favorite animated shows. I think it's a great topic. A lot of us sort of have stayed within that same range, especially if you've been watching animated shows. You kind of have a lot of us have maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender at the top. If you're an anime fan, you're kind of going to go in that circle of maybe Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Maybe you'll go in the direction of some people love Attack on Titan. Your classic standard tops of your lists. But recently, not even... I just finished the show now, actually. The last batch came out last night, but halfway through,
you mean 3 days, 3 or 4 days ago, right? George.
Well, it's no.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
it's Wednesday tonight.
Well, when we're recording, we don't show this live. It's a YouTube video. Let me remind you. No, but 2 days ago, a day ago, it came out. But before that, I already had this conversation with Dean that the season had just had 6 episodes in, and I already knew that this is pretty much breaking, for me, the top of my list of greatest animated series ever made. And this is in terms of storytelling, character moments, just for me, it even goes into the world of acting, facial expressions, story beats, storytelling, animation, still shots. If you take out all the characters from the shot and you just look at it as an artistic piece, it's just soaring. And that is Riot's Arcane, that is based on League of Legends. And League of Legends, very popular video game. I happen to play it, so I got to appreciate it on a higher level. But it's absolutely there for people who don't play League of Legends, just because of the world building, all of these factors that you'd want out of a TV show. For me, it's just a masterclass in all facets. And now that it's finished, I've taken that from not just favorite animated series Western, but this might be better for me than any anime I've ever seen. I mean, like One Piece, it's hard because it's a whole journey, right? Like, as a full body, you can't compare anything to it. But as a presentation of one season, one story, ironically, One Piece.
One Piece.
Arcane takes it for me. Like, Bibo, let's go on to you. What's your favorite animated series of all time?
Animated series of all time?
Yeah.
You know what? Just to go off on Arcane, I am usually super hesitant when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially stuff that's attached to properties that I'm not necessarily a fan of, or I'm a little snobbish about, like, League of Legends,
Yep.
MOBAs, but because you endorse it so much, our friend Maron, another honorary fourth beta bro or beta bell or whatever, as it were, endorses it so
like
much.
That.
My dad watched it, even though he watches everything, he just half watches stuff while playing bubble games on his tablet. I actually, I'm gonna watch it, and I can't wait to check it out, because just hearing the way you talk about it makes me, really excited for, and you're not the first person to talk about the facial expressions, all of that stuff. So yeah.
I'm not even afraid to oversell this. I'm not afraid to oversell this to you.
I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Genuinely, and that's why I'm gonna watch it. You've successfully sold me on it.
I'm happy about that.
That's basically the gist of my feelings on that. But as far as favorite animated series, right? We're talking animated series.
Yeah.
Or thing. Okay, series. Since
let's go with thing. Let's take it to thing.
Animated
why not?
thing. Oh
yeah. Let's go with thing, because this one,
man.
for me, this was like.
This is what I was talking about.
This achieves Spider-Verse levels in terms of introducing the world into more of what we're capable of into the future of animation. So let's go with that. This is what
I was telling...
I'm going to have to split it. So if you want to split it, you can split it.
That's fine.
Between series
and thing. Okay, as far as theories,
let's go with that. Sure.
Since you brought up anime and you kind of lumped it together, I'll do that as well and say I don't know if anything will supplant Attack on Titan as my favorite animated series. Just because it just, everything just fits so well in that universe, just the world building is so good. Do you watch Attack on Titan, Dean?
No, I don't. I just mouthed it to the camera.
No, you know what?
I've seen episode 1.
I'm jealous of you because you get to experience that journey, and you're probably going to get to experience it. The closer to the final part of the final season you experience it, the better for you, because it's like one story. Yeah.
Because there was a
You can
dip.
just-
It was
but
gone for.
I'm into it.
It was gone for like 2 to 3 years, and the initial hype died down so much. And
Absolutely.
once it came back, it was so much better. But people were like, "Oh, that's like old news. We don't really care about that anymore." And it's like, but it's better than ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so good. So yeah, I have an Ellen figure right there. So yeah, I love
Nice.
that. Yeah, and also I will say one thing about, since we're talking about animation, I'll make this real quick. And I came prepared
go.
with this. People don't regard animation with enough respect, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna call you guys out a little bit on this episode, even though I know you definitely 100% respect animation to the utmost. I mean, you guys have already spoken on it enough to prove that. But like, so I watched this movie trivia game show called the Movie Trivia Schmodown, right? And not to be sexist about it, but the men fail at all the animation questions all the time, and the ladies clean up. I don't know why. That's just an observation. And I feel the reason for that is a lot of people in general, and maybe men mostly, just kind of like poo-poo animation is like, oh, it's lesser than live action. And I'm guilty of that. But as far as you guys, I know that I know that holds true even in this circle, because I know that the answer to the question I'm about to ask from both of you is no. And that question is, have you seen What If? And I know that the answer is no. And
Marvel's What?
yeah, Marvel's What If.
Yeah.
But if you think
Yes.
about it, right?
Yes,
It's the current show after WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki, right?
Yeah.
What If was the next thing? It's in universe. It's MCU. MCU characters legitimately show up in it. It's 100% canon, 100% in universe, 100% is gonna pay off in the future. But so few people have watched it. Why? Because it's animated.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all.
Yeah. That's so true. Is that
That's
your
it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh no, it's
favorite miniseries
I
or
just
like-
wanted to bring it up as a little addendum to the animation topic, but I'm done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's 100% true. And I am also guilty of that. I say and maintain what I'm going to say later about my favorite animated movie, I think might surprise some people, but I absolutely agree with that. And we are guilty of it as well. Okay. As for me, favorite animated show. No surprise here. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep,
I think that
that's
we're
classic.
gonna.
That is classic.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just so well written. So well written in the sense that, you know, it really feels like they're kids. You feel like you've talked like that at some point in your life. I don't know, me personally, I did. You know, and so many shows written by adults, you know, obviously a majority are, but so many shows written by adults don't really capture that sense of wonder and naivete that, you know, kids have, and idealism even that kids have. And I just love how they captured that, and still told one of the most epic fantasy stories ever in a unique world, in, you know, sort of like a world that encompasses a lot of different Asian mythologies that we never really saw before, you know. So it was just, it ticked every box for me. Not only was it so cool, it was just so, you know, awesome. Like, bending is such an awesome thing. It's like the lightsabers of fantasy, you know what I mean? It's like sort of arranging magic in its own set of rules, which was so clever, which they also did with Dragon Prince, which I also love, but not as much as Avatar.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that one is just, that's the pedestal for me. Now I am going to separate favorite show with favorite movie, because my favorite animated movie is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Hell,
That doesn't surprise me at all, dude. That does not surprise me at all. That's
Dean?
a masterpiece.
you are lucky
Yeah.
that we are doing this over Zoom, because if I was next to you, buddy, I would kiss the crap out of your face right now.
Yeah. That movie is as close to, I think, a perfect Batman movie as we've ever come, because although it, you know, it's a slightly predictable mystery if you're not a kid watching it, you know, it is a mystery. he's being a detective. It's it's got the Joker. It's a movie with Mark Hamill's Joker. You can put a period on that.
Right.
And then that's all you need, right? It just the characterization of the early years of Batman and how instead of just making it cool, because it was cool, it was awesome, but instead of just making it cool, they made it a statement about self-help, and they made it a statement about getting lost to obsession and believing that you deserve happiness, and so many important things that young people need to know. And just it makes me tear up a little bit just thinking about how layered their origin story for Batman was, and how it was related to the plot, and how it's just about the mob. My God, like I love DC and all different kind. Like I love Green Lantern and all the crazy space opera stuff that happens. I love Superman and and all the crazy stuff that he does. But when it comes to Gotham City, I love it when it's just grounded, sort of true
totally
the kind of thing that could almost be true crime, except that they have funny monikers like the Riddler and stuff like that. So I really love that aspect of that movie.
Funny thing about Mask of the Phantasm, what was don't need to reveal, but like because like Harley's been in the comics for decades at this point, but Phantasm has yet to make their comics debut. Like they've yet to transfer to the comics, which blows my mind. I don't know why they haven't done that. Maybe like because they have the Reaper right in the comics, and maybe they're just too visually similar.
Yeah,
but there's
so many anti-Batman. Yeah. There's so many anti-Batman like characters, like Ray, to a certain degree, Red Hood as well. You can say it's an anti-Batman character. You got the Grim Knight, the Batman who laughs. There's so many. There's so many like I don't know how to say the antithesis of what Batman is. But I thought that the most simple one and the most effective one, because it was simple and tied to him emotionally, was the Phantasm.
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's a very controversial thing, I think, for fans of especially Red Hood and things like that.
But Phantasm's a masterpiece. And actually, you're talking to somebody who my favorite cartoon of Batman as a movie, animated Batman movie, which surprisingly, it's such a big deal to me. You mentioned Mark Hamill, but when you have Mark Hamill paired with Kevin Conroy, you can't go wrong, right? I mean, that for me is like such a defining factor in, is this going to be a great Batman film in terms of the voice acting, or am I going to get what I want? Because Kevin Conroy is the Batman of my head. When I hear Batman speak, it's Kevin Conroy. When I hear the Joker speak, it's Mark Hamill. That's for me. But surprisingly, my favorite Batman movie didn't have either of them. Or correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it didn't have either of them as either of the characters, which was Under the Red Hood.
That's also a great movie.
Yeah, so Under the Red Hood's my top Batman, and I think it was because it was the first time I've seen Nightwing brought to life for the big screen, where he was played by Neil Patrick Harris, who's one of my favorite actors as well. So
that was another great casting. There's so many great casting choices.
Amazing, and that's why Batman. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. You could. I'm normally a geek for voice actors.
They're not there. You're right. You're correct.
Yeah,
it wasn't
but I don't think.
Yeah.
So that's surprising to me, because considering those are benchmarks for me, it was still my favorite, considering they were so unique with how they cast it. And I love Under the Red Hood. God damn.
I think Joker was Joe DiMaggio, and he was a revelation as the Joker.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
everyone,
amazing.
Amazing. Everybody.
Was it casted by Andrea Romano, because
Probably.
she usually does a lot of the DC stuff, because she's a master of voice casting. Absolutely. And also, by the way, we just hit 20 minutes. It goes by so fast. Just letting you guys know so that we can try and hit our 45 for once.
Okay. I'm going to ask.
That's a goal.
Dean, okay. I'm going to interrupt. I'm really going to interrupt, because we're about to, I want to move this, but before we leave the world of animated, I have to ask this. We're on favorites. Can I just ask both of you, who are your favorite voice actors, animated voice actors? Let's go with that. Let's pick one. but you can give a bunch, or if you want to honorable mention, it's fine. But I just want to hear this because they don't get enough love. The voice actors,
absolutely,
they just don't, and they deserve it.
I know mine.
Go, Dino.
Bibo, let's start with you.
Should I go first?
Let's start with
Go,
Dean.
Dean. No,
right.
Dean's ready. I'm not. I told you. I take forever with these things.
Fair enough. Okay,
So
I'll go
for me,
after Dean.
Yeah, for me, it's really easy. It's Tony J, who is the voice of Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And also, so many different voices. I mean, I really love so many voice actors. You know, I could just rattle them off, but I'll see if you mention any. And if you don't mention any of the ones that I love, I'll do an honorable mentions afterwards. But Tony J, he has the most epic voice that I think has ever been heard on planet Earth. If you listen to, you know, Frollo, or you know, he was also the Insane Asylum guy in Beauty and the Beast. He was the opening. He's done so many opening title crawls. But he was also Dr. Lipschitz in the Rugrats, so he's very diverse.
Oh wow. The Rugrats has so many good random voice actors in it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and he can sing too. He sang Hellfire, but
of course.
I think the most iconic role for me as a video game nut, and for a lot of video game players out there, is probably that he's the voice of the Elder God from Legacy of Kain. Oh man,
what?
His
really?
voice was just Wait,
the one who brings Raziel back.
Yes.
Oh my God! Really? Did not know that.
Yeah, I know.
That is so cool.
So yeah. He's basically the voice of Epic, and he has played both God and Satan so many times.
No surprise there.
His voice is so amazing. So that's awesome. That's my top for sure.
I love that.
You know what I love about voice actors? What I love about them is they are all around you and places that you'll just never know, and that's why they're just so underrated. They're in video games that you've played, just like Bibo. You had no idea about Legacy of Kain, neither did I. Funny, because I played Legacy of Kain, and I never would have related. My God, if you watch classic X-Men and you have the voice of Magneto, which is so iconic, and he's the same voice as SpongeBob, you know, like these are like, it's like so, you know, master of magnet, you know, I mean, that we go, and you have like, it's just crazy how you have this like amazing. I didn't
know that.
Yeah. No, it's and you look at things like The Simpsons, you know, I mean, just on what they've done with how they spread roles between one person. I'm going to go into my favorites, my honorable mentions, especially in terms of the video game world, would be Nolan North and Scott Manville. I'm not sure if you know Scott Manville. Scott Manville was the voice of Robin, Teen Titans. Scott Manville has just so many random voices everywhere, but he also played in the Tales series for the PlayStation and GameCube. He played Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. So just a lot of places. Also in Tales of Symphonia, and this is where I'm going to go into my random favorite, is Cam Clark. Cam Clark is the voice of Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Brother.
I absolutely love the cast of Metal Gear Solid. You have Jennifer Hale, you have David Hayter, you have Cam Clark, and Cam Clark played Kratos. He also randomly plays the voice of Simba in Lion King 2, the sequel. And he sings, you know, I mean, the Simba song in that. So it's actually like really voice actors, man. They're crazy. So yeah, I'd say Cam Clark would probably be one of my favorite voice actors. Well,
that's amazing, and I see that I feel so bad because I didn't know that was all the same person. Again, they just pop up everywhere.
They really do. Beebs, what about you? Have you thought about your answer yet?
Okay, lots to say. Firstly, I'm so happy you mentioned Cam Clark and the rest of the Metal Gear Solid cast, because I definitely want to dedicate one of our episodes to things that were seminal in your childhood. And I recently realized how much Metal Gear Solid just influenced so much of my tastes growing up. And I recently just marathoned all the main games. And anyway, I'll let it end there. But Metal Gear Solid is just, awesome. I don't think I love anything more in life right now than Metal Gear Solid.
You know, Bibo, I'm gonna bring this up more later, but if you haven't, get a GameCube, get your hands on a GameCube, and
Twin
try
Snakes?
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. Just
Really?
for the
I
outlandish...
watched the cutscenes and I'm like,
Dude, I know, but like some of
I'm
it's
sorry.
just so amazing sometimes.
I get it. It's just I'm a
You
bit
know,
of a purist right now. So it's whenever anyone brings up Twin Snakes, to get a little touchy. Just saying.
But I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan. I've maxed it out on every mode for the PlayStation 1. Everything. I love that game, but
That's
I think
awesome,
I'm so attached to the GameCube because people think of that battle and they think of the PlayStation and the Xbox and that's all that's on their minds. But the GameCube was one of the most
Rightly
amazing
so.
consoles of all time. One of the most amazing consoles of all time was the GameCube.
I agree. Even though I've never had one,
No,
and
that's
never
true.
never really played on one much. I agree.
And I'll have you know that the GameCube of all those three was the beta console because
lovely.
it was indigo. And Nintendo was not sure it would sell because men would feel too alpha to like an indigo colored console.
Wow. I did
Okay.
not know
But
that.
the indigo was part of one of the reasons why it was so iconic and because it was a beta console. So to quote Dean from earlier, debatable.
This is quite debatable.
Debatable.
But anyway, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid.
There it is. Go.
Done.
Yeah.
And because you guys got to mention your favorite animated Batman movie, I want to do so too. Real
go.
quickly, I don't know. Here's another one. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but my favorite animated Batman movie, barring Mask of the Phantasm and Under the Red Hood, is probably the Lego Batman movie. And it's
Yes.
one of the best Batman movies in the same vein that Spider-Verse is just such a love letter to everything Spider-Man. The Lego Batman movie just gets Batman. It's not some dumb, cash grabby, like licensing thing. It's such a good Batman movie. So
it was
Lego
really-
Batman movie,
It was really good.
freaking up there. Gotta freaking say. And I'm happy to know that you guys have seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Voice actors.
I want to hug you for not saying Court of Owls because if anybody ever says that,
dude,
I will fight you.
cannot.
That
I haven't
it's
seen
been-
it. Is it bad?
We can do
that.
a whole episode on the state of the DC animated movies at this point
Yeah,
because
it's
it's been
just-
really
For those
weird.
of you who are watching who love Court of Owls, just
Eh.
sure.
It was a good comic. Nothing else as
Sure.
good has come of it. Just gotta say. Anyway,
Yeah.
and as far as favorite voice actor, because you both mentioned, I've been mulling over so many different answers, but because you guys both mentioned male voice actors, I will go with female and say Tara Strong because there's nothing that woman can't do.
Yeah.
She's lovely. She is Canadian, I believe, and I'm a bit of a Canada-phile. So many talented people come from Canada. So if she's not, then I've wasted like 10 seconds of our episode. But anyway, Tara Strong I would say is probably my favorite voice actor.
I
to
respect
answer
that,
right
man.
now.
Yeah.
I respect
Tara
that.
Strong is amazing. Like
Nothing she can't do.
yeah, and she's so funny. Like the way that she enunciates.
Yes.
When she's like, it's so funny.
And- Sorry,
No.
but like,
Yeah.
well, we got it. We got we got the cold intro for this episode.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to leave off this voice actor tangent topic we've gone on. To say I've recommended it to George already. I don't know if he's seen it, but Dean, if you haven't seen I Know That Voice, it's a documentary completely on voice actors. Everyone's in it. Everyone we've mentioned in this episode is there. Mark Hamill's in it. It's amazing. It's an amazing documentary, and everyone should see it, especially if you love animation. So check out
Absolutely.
I Know That
I've
Voice.
always been meaning to see it.
I'll definitely say though, just because like if we didn't do a good enough job representing the amazing force of like female voice actors out there that are really just, my God, like so many young boys like first crushes ever were purely cartoons based on the voice alone. It's carries so much farther. I mean,
so
like,
many
people
young boys are played by female voice actors.
I mean,
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, actually, you could argue not just so many, probably 95% of young, like all the young guys that you've heard voices of, probably. But like, right behind Cam Clark is Jennifer Hale for me. So I
Jennifer Hale.
all that respect to
Fantastic.
just the female voice actors out there,
And
just
the
killing the game.
sorry, I forget her name, but the sister of Phoebe on Friends, who's also Tommy Pickles and Buttercup if I'm not mistaken.
Ah.
I forget her name, but I love her voice too. It's just so distinct and such a lovely voice to listen to.
Yeah.
Great actress.
Well, not the sister of Phoebe. Sorry, I know it's not popular anymore, but I'm a millennial. I grew up with Friends, and I'm a Friends fan. Which oh my god, I could get into a whole thing because Mara, my girlfriend, is in LA, and she just went to the Warner Brothers studio and went to the Friends lot.
Oh,
she went to the Friends lot with her siblings, who aren't even the biggest fans of Friends, and I was like, the multitude of things you could do in LA. Countless, universal, whatever. You go to the Friends lot. And then she was like, I don't want to say where else I went. And I was like, where else did you go? In the Warner studio. And she was
Warner studio, of course she did.
The DC movies. And I was like,
oh.
I can imagine how she said it to you.
Yeah, no, she felt really bad the whole time. I was like, put that in perspective. Like, if you could wait for me, we could go together. It would be so much more magical. And now we're not getting. So I was like, I'm going to go with my sister. Like, I'm not going to go with you now.
Oh, no.
No, I'll go with her anytime. And I know, they got tickets and she got to be with her family. So it's important. But, just the Friends lot, dude. Oh, God. Anyway, moving on. Back to voice actors.
My brother Dill,
stuff.
special guest, is in the background. I don't know if he's there. Can you see him?
What's up, Dill?
Anyway,
you can pop in.
Much love, Dill.
Yeah.
So where were we? We ended on that note. We ended on female voice actors, and I think now is the perfect segue time. And Dean, this is your host episode, but why don't you pick the next topic of favorites for us to discuss?
Yeah, because we've done animated series. This is going to be so random, but I love it.
Yeah.
Animated series, favorite Batman film we've all done, favorite voice actors we've all done. Mm-hmm. So we mentioned a couple of things that I was like, oh, that's your favorite this, that's your favorite that. So what we mentioned before, because you were talking about Under the Red Hood, George, that you love the fact that they got Nightwing right. So let's go around. I think we should do our favorite superheroes, and let's start with you, George, because I think I know the answer to what your favorite superhero.
Yes.
Why don't you just flex your left?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny because people don't like get it. Okay, my favorite. Everybody who knows me and knows comics and knows me that I like comics, like, knows that. And if you watched a bit of the first episode, you'd know that, like, my favorite superhero of all time ever is Nightwing. And there are a few reasons for it, and it's just annoying because, like you said, I do have this tattoo that's Nightwing.
Yeah.
It just sucks because sometimes people see it and they're like, "Is that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?" And I was like,
"Oh no!
my God.
Why would I get a tattoo?"
I want to slap them so hard.
Like I've gotten that. You'd be surprised. I've gotten it like easily on the lower side of 10, but more than 5 times. Like, under 10, more than 5 times I've gotten, "Is that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And it's like, why would I get a tattoo of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like,
I mean, you could get a shield tattoo, but, like, not necessarily an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tattoo.
Yeah, it's just because I get it, right? I mean, in fairness, like, if you look at the symbol, like, it's... You could make the argument it's fair.
No, George, it's not debatable.
I know, it's not. I know, it's not. And so much of just the story of Dick Grayson, I love Dick Grayson as a character. He's just so underrated, and just like anything in the Batverse, I love stories that are grounded. I love it when because DC is all about more of that exploration of, like, gods as compared to mutants from Marvel, right? And when you take the Batverse that just fits so beautifully in the DC world, and most people would say the Bat universe in DC is their favorite, but Nightwing's story for me is just so special because it is absolutely the story of Robin breaking out of Batman's shadow to be his own, like, person, man, hero, and that journey. And I love my brother. I've told you about him. I've told you about Miss Venus. That Mark, I love him to death, but I kind of really grew up as his younger brother, his little tail, his little shadow throughout all our life. So that story of breaking past that shadow to become your own person, that's just always connected with me so much. So Nightwing has just always taken that perfect spot within the Batverse, within DC, which is just my favorite comic universe.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes from. So being the number one Nightwing for Injustice, it was like something I really, really wanted. I've never wanted anything more in a fighting game than to be the number one at that. So that's mine.
So that's amazing that you got there, right?
Yeah.
I love that. And like we never really, I never really heard that from you before. You mentioned it nga, diba, in our first episode, and I love hearing more of it from you now because, you know, some people have favorite superheroes and it's because they like the power or whatever, or the costume, but like for it to be really significant to your history and you know, you feel, you know, your journey and all of that is lovely to hear, I gotta say. Yeah. And it's forced me, if you don't mind, Dean, like I'll go into my favorite superhero. It's forced me to reflect on why this guy is my favorite superhero, and it makes so much sense. My favorite superhero is the man who is the staunch protector and guardian of Space Sector 2814, which includes the planet Earth, and he is the Green Lantern, specifically Hal Jordan. Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Green Lantern is bar none my favorite superhero. I do like the power. He you know, the ability to create any hard light construct. He can't create anything. He can't beat Superman by making kryptonite with his ring, guys. It's just he can just create any shape with his ring. That's what he can do.
Yeah.
Although, you know, of course, the power has evolved as the years have gone by, but generally that's what a Green Lantern can do. I love that power. I love that his power is basically imagination, right? And it's limited only by his imagination and his willpower. So green is willpower. I love Blackest Night got me into Green Lantern because I like the concept of the different colored rings and they're being tied to different emotions. I use air quotes when I say emotions. But yeah, I just Green Lantern's my favorite, and because of your story, George, it's forced me to take a look at why, and it's because, and this might get a little deep, but Hal Jordan is like a super talented pilot, right? He's an ace. He can do anything in a plane. He feels right at home there. And like he saw his dad die in a plane accident. His dad was also an amazing pilot. But things aren't working out for him despite all that ability. Like his relationship with Carol, traditionally where we find him is his relationship with Carol is just sort of unsalvageable. Like they care for each other, but they're not together. Right, and his career as a pilot is going down the drain. Anyone who's seen the Ryan Reynolds movie will know that origin. And then the fact that he gets pulled out of that into a higher calling, where essentially he can escape and be of service and find meaning, his place in this giant universe that he's all of a sudden discovered. Find meaning in a different way. He's given a fresh start, basically. I relate to that so much. Just do the math. I won't talk about how that, affects me personally, but I just relate to that story so much of just being pulled. And it's that we've seen that power fantasy a lot in especially in pop culture and geek media, right? Of what's the genre of anime, George, where you get transported into another world?
Isekai.
It's that isekai trope of like being pulled out of your life and then finding another calling. And I think that's why I love Hal Jordan the Hal Jordan incarnation of Green Lantern so much. It's because he's able to apply himself and realize himself and actualize as a superhero, which is just the ultimate power fantasy, right? So yeah, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys went so deep with it. Like, I can't follow that.
I gotta admit, when people first said. No, when people first said Green Lantern, I really thought it would be like, he makes stuff with his mind and his willpower, and Bibo draws. So I thought that's where he was going. And that's
Kyle Rayner. That's Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Which is
he's
great
an artist.
Too. Yeah, that's how Kyle Rayner makes his stuff. Sorry, but yeah, there's that too, of course. But yeah, I get it, Georgie. I get what you're saying.
I have to admit though, like the reason I go this deep is because. I mean, most people pick that, and it's fine that it's about the power. If I say mine is just about, I like Nightwing because he's an acrobat and he gets babes. Like if I
best ass in the DC universe.
Like, yeah, he's got, and you would know my story, Dean and Bibo, about my underdeveloped glute region. So it's like maybe I'm projecting what I want. You know, I mean, and that's a whole other story about seeing the physio and him, you know, my lower back issues were, in fact, glute issues, apparently. But anyway, but, you know, if that was my reasoning and that's why I got a tattoo, that's why I sort of need a deeper story, because I wouldn't have gotten a tattoo if it wasn't deep, right? I mean, that's where it's about. So, but I am happy that it made you reflect, Beebs.
Yeah, man, totally.
That's a win for me, dude. That is a win.
Yeah.
So, Dean,
as for
which
me,
favorite superhero of yours means so much to your life that you would get a tattoo?
I will tell you if we can go past 20 minutes, because we hit 20 minutes.
We will. I don't care. Do it. Do it.
And we still have to get to at least favorite movies and favorite video games, and we can end it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
At least
we can
those
just shotgun those off at the end.
Yeah. We'll at
we
least
could just
hit
bang,
that
bang, bang.
a little bit.
So my favorite superhero is Batgirl, specifically Barbara Gordon, the first Batgirl, because so for the longest time it was Batman, for obvious reasons. He's an archetype. You know, he is the archetype of the Reaper for good, and it's so like satisfying to see a story of his come to fruition, because it's a Jungian desire we all have for something good to intimidate something evil, right? But the reason that I love Batgirl is because when you get down to who Batman is, he does have a superpower, which is that he is incredibly rich. And that's what everybody sort of points out. It's like, you know, he is the everyman of the Justice League, but even so, he's not really an everyman. And Barbara Gordon really is an everyman. Like, she's not rich. In recent versions of the character, she has eidetic memory, which I'm okay with, but I don't like. I prefer it when she's just Barbara Gordon, librarian, daughter of Commissioner Jim Gordon, and has to go behind his back to be a superhero, to do what she thinks is the right thing, even though he's overprotective of her. I guess in certain ways, that is why I relate to Barbara Gordon, because I guess the lesson that a Batgirl solo story teaches is that you can have wonderful parents, good parents who mean the best and who fight for justice, but they might not let you fight for justice in the way that you want to. And you have to claim that for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
So, yeah, I just love that idea that she has to keep it, you know, a secret from her dad, that her dad is so close to Batman, that she herself is, and, you know, in a lot of Batgirl stories, Birds of Prey stories and stuff like that, she's depicted as sort of the brains behind the operation. And I also love that aspect of it. And even when she loses, you know, when she becomes paralyzed by the
Oracle,
Joker in The Killing Joke, and she becomes Oracle, she's still one of my favorite characters, because she goes into being fully that role where she's the person behind the computer, you know, the puppet master, the person that everybody depends on for their intellect. And that's why I really, you know, I really just love Barbara Gordon.
Can I just say though, because I know you love Barbara Gordon, and that's amazing, but I just want to say, like, because I need your opinion on this, Dean, because I am still mortified by the animated Killing Joke at what they did.
Disgusting.
Foul.
So foul.
Yeah.
Foul the Nightwing.
Disgusting.
Foul the Bee.
No, unnecessary.
Foul the Babs. Foul the Batman.
I don't mind them being romantically linked. It's been done. It's fine. But for that story, it didn't have to be.
So foul, man. Oh, so foul.
It didn't add anything. What did it add?
Absolutely
nothing. Did
nothing.
They think it added stakes?
No, not at all.
Stakes?
They didn't. It was not rare, not well done, not medium, nothing. No stakes.
No.
And sorry, I wanted to say, George.
Feel so validated.
George,
yes, sir.
I guess you and I now know who we're not allowed to pick once we play Gotham Knights. So, it's just the Robins for us.
I mean, all good with me. You know who I'm picking.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I'm the one who can. It's Red Hood or Tim for me.
Okay, let's get this out of the way while we're here.
I just wanted to ask, Dean, what do you think about the casting? In the Heights girl is Barbara for the Batgirl movie.
I have no idea. I'd have to see her.
She's great.
You know,
but she's great. She's wonderful. She killed it in the Heights.
If you ask me, like, and I think I was guilty of this, like, before The Dark Knight came out, if Heath Ledger was a good pick for the Joker, I'd be like, no, I don't think so.
But then picture came out.
Obviously. Yeah.
That picture came out.
And he was like,
and we all shut up.
Amazing, seminal, unforgettable. So I never really, I don't want to say I don't judge people by casting. I absolutely do. I'm guilty of that. But with Babs, it's like so close to me and so full of possibilities and so full of like different interpretations that you could do, because there have been so many. Just the reason, for example, that she can't be a cop is different in every bloody comic I've seen. So like how you would cast Babs, to me, I don't know. I'd have to see it first.
I see. Well, good answer.
I know that's a cop-out answer, but
while we're on this topic, before we go on, I because I had no idea it would go this direction, but since we're here and we're talking favorites, Bibo, why don't you tell us who your favorite Bat sidekick is?
I'll have to steal it from you, George. I mean, you can't really not choose Dick Grayson. He is the Bat sidekick. Can he just be all our answers?
That's true.
Oh, well, I mean, Dean's got Babs. The person in me who still gets a little bit affected from time to time with middle school sickness. I'm not sure if you know what that is, Beebs, but it's a term Dean taught to me before that makes so much sense, is that I have a soft spot for Jason Todd at times. I do, like, especially when he's in Arkham Knight or Red Hood. When he's in those characters, I can't help but feel like, God, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
I love Jason, yeah.
I actually really like Tim.
I love all of them.
Mikey.
I don't love Damian so much, but I love all the Robins.
You guys have met Mikey. Tim is my best friend. Mikey's favorite Robin. Favorite Bat sidekick is Tim. But I do have if I were forced to not choose Dick, it'd be Damian for me. There's this great Q-Fig statue of a regular-ish scaled Batman, and he's carrying chibi versions of all the Bat kids. Everyone,
I love that. That's awesome.
So cute.
That's
I'll
so
put a
cool.
picture of it right here.
Yeah, please do. And I'll look forward to it. I'll look forward to it. Okay, we're gonna hit that mark, guys. Where
doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm having too much fun.
We're gonna hit that mark. But before we do, because it's gonna make so much sense when we talk about the unpopular versions of it later. But we need to say just quickly, favorite movies, favorite video games. Not keep it too long.
Yeah.
I'll go first. For favorite movie, real quick, it breaks my heart to not be able to choose Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. But if I could only have one movie on a desert island, it contains the performance that it's trite, but it contains the performance that made me want to be an actor, which is, you mentioned it, Dean, Heath Ledger as Joker. The Dark Knight is my favorite movie. I don't care how lame that is. And my favorite, my favorite video game is, it used to be Portal. And I still want to choose Portal in the same way I would have wanted to choose Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but it has to be, after recently finally getting around to it, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Oh, it's not The Witcher?
That is a good choice.
I want some more. No, I want none of that, George.
I'll save this fight for next episode.
We'll save that for a future episode.
Fight soon.
Okay, my God. George, go. Favorite movie, favorite video game.
I'm just gonna say it. This is gonna be like the least expected answer you'll ever have for favorite movie, but I'm attaching so much of like nostalgia to it. I'm talking about, you open the TV, if it's playing on HBO, and you just happen to catch it, you're like, wow, my favorite movie has come up. And it just it's my go-to sad movie. It's what I play on Christmas. It's what I play when I'm sick. It's really just my ultimate go-to feel-good movie. Which, Bibo, taken from one of the main actors of your favorite movie, is A Knight's Tale from Heath Ledger. Yeah,
really?
It's one of my
that's really left
absolute
field.
go-to favorite. Of course, it's not the best movie ever, but it's one of my absolute personal favorite movies, and I'll always give it that respect of going, Knight's Tale. Just
that's awesome.
Like Ulrich von Liechtenstein, just like William. Can't go wrong with it, man. Seriously, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have both seen Knight's Tale. I absolutely love.
I saw it ages ago. I should
It's
give
fun.
it another watch.
I still watch it
movie.
every now and then, and it's just so feel good. It's so stupid sometimes too. And as an older viewer, I'll look at it and be like, "Oh, this is kind of funny," but I still love it. I still love it. Too much nostalgia attached to it. And
Awesome.
That's where I'll go to. In terms of favorite video game, I will cheat a bit and split this answer into two. My favorite video game of all my favorite video game of all time is definitely Final Fantasy VII, and that's so lame. Sorry, but I as a kid can't say I've played a video game more. But favorite franchise ever is Super Smash Brothers. I love Nintendo so much, and I'll just at least give it that honorable mention. Dean, let's go with you.
Yeah. Okay. So before I go into that, it's awesome that you chose all your answers because Dark Knight and Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, tons of people would say that, but it's good because later we're going to say things that people aren't going to agree with. They can look back to this episode and be like, but they do have some taste. You know what I mean? But okay, so right, that's what it's for. My favorite movie is easy. It's Return of the King. If I could put the whole Lord of the Rings as one whole movie,
I'll allow
it. But if I had to choose one, because it's one continuous story, right? If I had to choose one, it would be Return of the King, just because it has the best.
But not just Return of the King, just purely the last 15 minutes of Return of the King, right? So that
the last, like even like you mean the part where it just keeps coming back. I was like, I was seriously one of those people that got up several times.
Beebs, can you just can we edit like shots of you and I just going slow mo,
hugging,
just
hugging Frodo?
That is such a great
I love
scene.
it.
I love that YouTube video.
I go nuts for it. I go nuts for that scene, man.
Ashnazg.
Yeah, and even though I can laugh. Yeah, even though I can laugh at that scene, there's really a sense of like, there's really a wholesome quality to it that really gets to you.
100%. And it's the perfect palate cleanse after the long journey, right? Like you're just like, you're happy to just smile and laugh at that moment. So,
but I just remember that YouTube video. That's so fucking good. Anyway, favorite video game, real quick. This one is tough.
Yeah.
For me, I think I'm gonna have to split as well into a sensible answer and a what I think is not objectively, because it's all subjective, but like I think the best quality game I've played, and the other one which is definitely not the best quality game I've played, but probably the game I had the most fun with ever. So probably for me, the game that I felt was just so perfect in so many ways is The Last of Us Part 1. Simple, boring answer.
I think we all needed one.
Now I feel guilty about shitting on The Last of Us 1 to Dean. I didn't know it was his favorite video game.
No.
To Dean, too.
It's fine because no, it's all good because it's like loads of people love it, and we've talked about this with other video games as well that we will get to later. I'm really not one of those people. I believe that like pretty much every opinion you can have about art, because games are a form of art. That's my subjective opinion. Is subjective. But the game that I had the most fun with ever is Skyrim because I played it on PC. So I have to give the credit not just to Bethesda because, they did create something amazing. Yeah, they did create something amazing, but it was broke as fuck and modders fixed it. So that's the game that I played the most out of. I played thousands of hours of Skyrim.
Yeah.
When it first came out on PC, and because mods just kept coming out.
I've seen your file, dude. I've seen Dean's modded file. I was like, what game is this? It's like, what game is this?
Like the basic Skyrim is like 10 gig. And my Skyrim is like 50 gig or something crazy like that. So like,
Dean, I know you're the host, but can I try? I really want to end it on this because
we have 3 minutes, dudes. So
we have. No, I want to end it on this. This is lightning round, okay? This is a geek show.
Okay.
I just want to throw this out there. I don't want you guys to think, and I'm happy for you guys not to think. Give your 5 honorable mention video games that you love without thinking. Just go. Like, Bibo, go. 5. Just pick
Final
5.
Fantasy
modern.
8, Final Fantasy 9,
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 1,
All right.
Metal Gear Solid 2,
Beard. Okay.
Metal Gear Solid V.
Yeah.
Okay, there. Wow. All right, the numbers game. Dean, go. Rapid fire. Let's go. 5 games you love.
Final Fantasy X.
okay.
Beard.
Original Metal Gear Solid for sure. It's gonna be that game, isn't it? Come on, there must be. Okay, Forza Horizon 5.
There
It's
it is.
recent,
Wow.
and it's freaking amazing. I don't know what other games are there. Suddenly, my head is
Tekken?
empty.
I mean, you played so much Tekken.
Yeah,
played so much
Tekken.
Tekken.
My favorite Tekken 5 Dark
Okay,
Resurrection.
there you go.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
Tekken. So, and then, I don't know. Come back to me. That's 4. I give you 4 honorable
defeats
mentions.
the point, though.
Georgie,
First thing on your mind.
We
Last of Us
legitimately
Part
have
2.
a minute
Okay,
and a
there you
half.
go.
So Georgie,
All
go
right,
and then Dean, bring us
I'm
home.
going. Mario RPG.
Beard, go, top
Mario
5.
RPG for the N64. Oh my God! Now I know I'm that. Okay, let's go with Tekken as well. Let's go with Tekken as well. Let's go with Ghosts of Tsushima. Oh my God! I love Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yes,
what an amazing
that's
game.
a fantastic
I'll
game.
go with the new Spider-Man games for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Yes.
I think it's just absolutely
Amazing.
amazing web swinging experience. And let's go. What's another? I'll stick to that Nintendo world and just say the classic Super Mario World for the N64. Let's go with that,
Okay.
and that's where I'll end it.
That was us talking about geek stuff, and we gotta end it real fast. So goodbye. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and everything like that. Click the notification bell if you want to hear. Goodbye.
May it be an evening star.